Hi, everybody. Let me introduce myself. My name is Holly, and I am the leader for Wickless Warriors. I have been with Scentsy for a little over a year now. I am a superstar consultant. And what I want to go over, because I see so many questions, and I have some consultants that are starting to do events. Just a little history on what I know about events and why I know what I know. I started last August, and I kind of thought I wanted to do events at one point, but I wasn't exactly sure because I know they're a lot of work. And so I had the opportunity in December of last year to do my first event. I was so excited, and wouldn't you know it, literally 2 weeks and 3 days before my event, I got COVID. I was so sick. I was held up in my living room. My whole family had it, so we were all quarantined to different parts of the house, and I had the living room. I wish I would have had pictures because I was determined that I was still going to do that event because I knew I was going to be healthy enough. I knew that I would be off quarantine, and I would be safe to be around other people. So even with COVID, as sick as I was, I made samples. I got my literature ready. I got everything ready, even on the days that I just could barely pick my head up because I was determined. I wanted to make it a success. I'd never done an event, didn't have a clue really how to do an event, just an idea. So I ordered my different products. Didn't have a whole lot financially to go in to do this event, but I figured it out. I giggle because my wax containers at the time, I took the boxes that hold cans on the grocery shelf, and I got several of those, and I wrapped them in wrapping paper, and I used those as my wax containers. It was cheap. It was what I could afford. And so I got those ready, and I got all packed up. And so when I got there, I knew it was an outside event, and they had told me that there was going to be, some lights, no worries, because it's at night. There was no lights, no electricity. And I said, well, we are just going to do the best we can. I can't plug up any warmers. They had this one little spotlight, so you had a little bit. And as the sun was going down, the booth area was just getting darker. And I'm like, flashlights out, make the best of the circumstances of what you have. And we ended up freezing that night because the temperature in Florida dropped crazy. And, so that was my first event. It wasn't the best, but it was a learning tool. And from that day forward, I knew I wanted to do events. I loved being around people. I loved educating people about Scentsy. I loved talking about the product, building a customer base, and getting out there into the community. And one thing on that one event that I learned was when people think Scentsy, all they think about is wax and warmers. And I said, I am going to set out to change that Scentsy is more than just wax and warmers. So I signed up for my next event. I guess I have a theory in life. I go big or I go home. We have what's called a strawberry festival around here. It's basically a 2-week event. Yes, you heard me right, 2 weeks. I did that. I signed up. I went from a little event right into a 2-week event. It was crazy, but I was excited. So I got me a little 10 by 10 space. Again, I didn't really have any idea what I was doing. I was just winging it. Again, go back to making my samples, my literature, order my products, and we're off to the races. So that event is where I really learned about events. And that's where I want to kind of go over just some basics of event making and how to make it successful, how to show yourself, your personality, who you are, what your brand is. So the first thing is when you are ready to do an event, how do you find them? Search, look, ask. Facebook, Look at Marketplace. Look for vendor groups in your area. Contact local VFWs, clubs, your Chamber of Commerce, and ask if doing events, or get a community calendar. See what's out there. It takes some footwork. It takes some looking. And when you start getting into the event circle, as I like to call it, you start getting your notifications, you start getting invitations, you start getting asked. But you have to work for it. And they don't, and there's a way to get invited back, and there's ways to get those invitations, and there's way to leave what I call your thumbprint on them, that you aren't forgettable. Okay. So once you have your event and you start asking questions, some of the things you want to ask, if this has been an event that has happened before, what's your foot traffic? About how many people do you expect to attend? Gives you an idea of, like, when you're sample making literature, and then you kind of get an idea of how busy this event's going to be. Are you going to need to take somebody with you? Are you going to need help? Or is it maybe a smaller event that you can kind of handle on your own? Ask them, okay, what is my setup time? Do I have an hour? Do I have 2 hours? Do I have 3 hours? That way you can mentally prepare that when you step foot into that event, I have 1 hour or 2 hours to set up. And you can kind of have a plan of attack of what you need to do, and how much product you want to carry. Make sure you ask when you're cleaning up, making sure you don't have like 15 minutes and you have to be out. I've never had that with an event. They usually give you plenty of time, but just ask, what's the cleanup time? How many hours do they give you? All right. When you ask, for cost, ask your space size. Again, so you can gauge how many tables, how much product, and how much space you're going to have. 10 by 10 is not a whole lot of space for you and product. And it sounds big, but it's not. 10 by 10s are like the popular size. So make sure you ask, again, just so you know, it's a preparation thing. And then ask if they provide any tables, chairs, tablecloths, anything, if they provide anything. Just so you know, so you're not carrying anything that you don't need to carry with you. Some, instead of doing space size, do table. Like, they'll let you have 1 table, 2 tables, 3 tables. So if they're not doing it by space, ask them how many tables you're allowed. And, was it 4-foot tables? Is it 6-foot tables? These are, again, just questions you want to know before you sign up. And also, because there is a lot of fraud with events, just verify that the event is legit, that it's real. And the person that you are talking with is the actual overseer of the event. Because I know it sounds shocking, there are people who try to create fraud events and just take people's money. So those are just some of your basics once you find events, okay? So now you have an event, you're set, you're ready to go. Do you know Scentsy's rules about events? There are some, and I'm going to just point out the most obvious, not most obvious, but the ones you kind of really need to know. But make sure you read in the news tab, or in our training on your workstation, about all the rules, so that you're familiar and you know what you're doing, when it comes to Scentsy, so that you don't have any problems. Okay. The number one thing is in malls and storefronts, you can't sell. You can do information and you can take orders. I call those my information events. And you can take orders and things. You just can't sell your product that's on your table. Anywhere else, like craft fairs, events, anything like that is fine. Don't advertise personal specials in your space, in your booth. If you're doing something, convey it one-on-one with that customer that's interested. Don't advertise them. You can take pictures of your setup and put it on your Facebook and say, hey, come see me. I'm here all day, blah, 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 blah. But don't zoom in on a product and say, hey, I've got this on hand. If you want to buy it, come on down. We can't do that, okay? But you can take a picture of your space and advertise, hey, I'm here, come get me. Or come get me, I'm sorry, come see me. Come get me, sorry, come see me. Because I was thinking about a buddy is, like our buddies. You don't want to be like, hey, I've got this buddy, why don't you come get it? No, you can't do that, okay? And then you can't do any flea markets. No flea markets. Your event has to have a start time, a start date, and an end date. You can't, flea markets, there is a no-no. And it says that in our rules. So those are just some of the basic rules, but there are more. So I really do encourage you to go and look over the Scentsy rules so that you know, okay? All right, so now we've been through the rules. We have the event. Now, what do we do? So what I say is you don't need a lot of product to do an event. But what I try to do, and please understand, this is me. This is just what I do. This is what I have shown that works for me. And you need to be able to do events for what fits you in your budget and your business, okay? I do a laundry bundle, a cleaning bundle. I purchased the all-purpose cleaner too as well. A moisture melody. So I have the body line, Scentsy soak, sugar scrub. I have a buddy clip. Sometimes I grab the sidekick, the Scentsy sidekick. And then of course my warmers, my wax, and then what I call the littles, which is your car bars, your scent circles, your travel tins, all the unplugged flowers, diffuser. I try to have a diffuser. I just, at least, the $65 one, and oil. Those are very popular. So I try to have that. I attempt to have at least one item from each line that we have. That's always kind of my goal, a pet line. And the reason I do that is it goes back to teaching people and showing people that we are more than just wax and warmers. I have those, they're there, they're pretty, it what draws people in. But when I'm talking to them, I'll be like, hey, do you know Scentsy has a laundry line? Let me show you. Hey, do you know Scentsy has a cleaning line? Let me show you. Showing them we have other products than just wax and warmers. And that's what I try to educate people on. And that's what I try to teach them, that we are more and look at all that we have. So that again is what I try to do. I try to have something from each line. Now always successful, but it's an attempt. It's always an attempt. And if I don't have the product, I try to have a sample of it. And again, just an education. So you have the product, okay? And again, use your hostess rewards, use your free product credit. And for the first event, maybe you don't have a whole lot. It's okay. Just get out there and take your sample box of your testers and go and build and start building your business that way. Also, in preparation for the event, some things that I use, and I have these and I just print them off and make sure I have plenty, is I always have enter for a free gift. This is my way of getting their information. And if they give it to me, they absolutely get a free gift. They get a scent circle. I always send a handwritten thank you note for attending my event. And so it's just something basic like this. It doesn't have to be anything fancy, just basic. Because when I come home, I enter this information to a spreadsheet and I throw these away. So I have a blank back so that if they purchase something, I can write what they purchased. Maybe if they didn't purchase something that they're interested in, just a little something so I can remember this person. Okay, just something to remember them. So I always have these ready to go. And this is part of my preparation for an event. The other thing that I always have on hand, always, and I use these two ways, is I have what's called my thank you bags. I have, they look like this, and I have a postcard in the front, and it just says, thank you for supporting my small business. Of course, our product sheet. I have information about hosting a party. There's always information in here about joining Scentsy. There's always make sense of your life. Always information on that. And then I always have samples, like a scent soak. Always put wax samples in. This one has 2. And then a sugar scrub. And so I always send them with samples. I think there's a counter clean in there as well. I always have these under my table, made up, ready to grab and go. And of course, my information is plastered all over this bag. So there'll never be a reason that somebody can't get a hold of me. And the other thing I use these for, not just to thank them if they purchase, but if I have somebody that comes up to the table and they're just interested in Scentsy, maybe they've never heard of Scentsy, but maybe they're not quite ready to purchase, I will reach under the table and grab one of these and give them this. Sends them with samples and information. It just sends them with everything. And I have it ready to go and I can put it in their hands. And people like these, and it doesn't cost me a whole lot. I print all of this at home. It doesn't cost me a lot. It doesn't take a lot of time, but I always have these on hand. And they're always ready. And actually, because I do so many events, I literally have a day where I'll put together 200 of them. So I don't have to worry down the road. They're always ready to go. The other thing that I keep on hand all the time are join packets. Okay. In my join packets, so if somebody expresses interest that they want to join, I just put the options they have, just a little thing about, they can be a kidnapper, a hobbyist, or make it a business. How to join, little QR code on how to join. Then I have becoming part of the Scentsy family, our join brochure. These vary. My business card, a scent circle, and then, sorry, my hair's tickling my nose. And then information. I printed these off of Canva. Information about me and who I am and my story and my why. Okay. And then just again, the kits that they can get. A host of exclusive kit and then the $99 kit. So they can see what they're getting. And I just have these little packets so that if somebody expressed interest, I can hand this to them. Now, let me tell you guys something that's super, super important about giving these kits away, these bags away. Let me tell you. Get their information. Follow up. Get your card out. Get their information. Follow up with them. If I have that event on Saturday, I'm going to be contacting them on Monday and saying, hey, did you have a chance to go over that packet? Follow up is key. Because they may have gotten in that car, thrown that packet on the front seat, and didn't think about it. But Monday, if you're texting them, you'll give them the reminder. So that's a preparation. So always have those packets ready. So now we've done preparation. Now it's the day of the event. Time to set up. When I set up, I personally put my warmers towards, I usually do a U shape with my tables, if it's a 10 by 10 space, and I usually put my warmers towards the back. It draws people in because, ooh, they're so pretty. They want to come in and they want to look closer. So that's kind of where I put my warmers, towards the back, pulls them in. I kind of put my wax off to the, again, if it's a U, I kind of put my wax off to one side my littles and other stuff off to the other side. Clean presentation. Make it look like you set that there on purpose. And it's not just like you opened your bin and dumped it on your table and ta-da, you're done. Make everything look like it has a purpose. It's sitting there. Elevate. Use things to elevate. There are so many things you can use. Heck, a piece of wood. A Scentsy box. The only problem with that is if you sell the warmer, don't forget where you put the box. That can get a little difficult, but it still can work. You can get wood crates from the Dollar Tree. You can get wood crates from Walmart, Michael's. There are inexpensive ways to elevate, create different levels, put different heights. But make sure you set everything with a purpose. Put your cleaning products with your cleaning, your laundry with your laundry. Put all your littles together. Put your diffusers together. Make it simple for them to come up and look and see. Make it simple for yourself. Hey, I'm interested in a cleaning product. You know exactly where it's at. You don't have laundry here and a washer whiff over here. Keep it together. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. But keep it together and keep it presentable and just basic. I don't use a whole lot of color. I let the products and the warmers be the attraction and be the color. I don't use a lot of fluff or decoration. Again, I let the warmers and the products speak for themselves. I'm a cord hider, so I do use certain garlands and flowers to hide cords because cords drive me crazy. And you know, I might at fall time use some fall decorations, especially with our fall line and stuff. But just a nice clean presentation. My tablecloths are always the Scentsy black ones. My base is always black. And again, it just makes the product pop and make your presentation very clean and very simple. And again, just make it look like it has a purpose. My wax, I use bins and I put my wax in bins. I don't alphabetize, I don't anything. I just put it by scent category because people like to dig, they like to grab, they like to smell. I put them by scent family so that if somebody says, hey, I need bakery, I can grab the bakery and they can go through there. But again, I leave it accessible so they can get to it, touch it, and smell as much as they want to smell. Make sure your tablecloths in the front at least come to the floor and don't show anything, no clutter underneath the table. Again, it's just part of that clean presentation so that when somebody walks up, all they're looking at is what's on top of the table. Nice and clean. If you have to use signage, you could just simply print off a sign off your computer. This is an IKEA one, but I use frames from the Dollar Tree, and I simply frame if I want to make any type of signage. I just print it on Google Docs, print it off, and do that. Just because I know I don't have the best handwriting, and it's nice, again, clean and easy to read and easy to decipher. I've used these with the chalk writer before. These are just little clips. Again, Dollar Tree. Dollar Tree has like little metal signs, little stands. All of that works. Again, it doesn't have to be anything expensive, just basics, okay? Make sure you put samples out, wax samples, cleaning products. Make sure you put samples out. When people start taking samples, though, try to get their information so you can find out later how they like those samples. A follow-up on Monday. Mondays are my follow-up days on events. So make sure you do that, okay? When you sell a warmer at an event, I did this, these aren't anything fancy. These are simple 3x5 index cards. I get their name, address, phone number, email, what warmer, and I put the order number. And I get the order number off of where did I order? You know, go to your Scentsy orders and get your order number, and then the date and the event. And I put these in a cart in a box, and I keep track of all my warmers so that if something were to happen, I will be able to get them a replacement warmer. I'll know my order number and I can contact customer service. I do keep these by event types. hopefully they can remember where I met them at. And this also gives you the chance to get information just in case they don't want to fill this out. It's a double security. So make sure you have the warranty, I call it the warranty warmer information. And these are just basic 305 card that I have. Make sure you also, because this is super easy, I just created this on Google spreadsheet. It's just a price of everything. It's sometimes easier than trying to go to my website or something. I just have this right there in my hand and I can find it. Okay. And that's everything that's like a single item. And then I also have a bundle and save, because that way I can remember all of our bundling options so I can present that to my customers. And then I always have a list of the car bar scents. Again, it's just easier for me to do this and hand this to them. And then also I do the pods, and then and it's just easier. It's just easier sometimes, especially when you're busy, to like, here's the list of scents. They can look and then create an order for them. I also always have my folder of FAQs on product, so that if they ask me a question that I don't know, again, instead of going to my workstation, I can grab my trusty notebook and I can pull it up right then and there. And this is all found in your workstation. I always have my catalog here, and that way I know it. And that's one thing I can tell you guys, is just to make sure you know your product. You don't have to know everything, but just make sure you have some knowledge of what you're selling, because if you sound like you know everything, you've won them over. So, and then in closing, you make sure you're branded. Make sure people know who you are. When you're walking through, you know, maybe you're going to the restroom or something. I've been stopped in the back like, oh, you have Scentsy? Yeah, my booth's over here. Make sure you are all kind of branded. All right. Greet everyone when they come in, but give them space. Let them look. Let them, watch, be there, be attentive, but give them space. Let them look, let them touch, let them smell. And then start asking, hey, have you heard of Scentsy? Oh, you have? What do you love? Start your dialogue. Then start talking with them. If they have a little girl or a dog or something that you can kind of relate to, kind of get in there with them, talk with them. All right. Again, have your catalog, hand your product sheets out. I hand product sheets out like crazy. And then mostly have fun. Your events are fun. Have fun. It's a great way to follow up. It's a great way to have customer base. It's a great way to have people join. Let them see you. Let them see your personality. Let them see who you are. And laugh and carry on and have fun with your people. And don't forget to invite them to your VIP group. I always have a little sign that, hey, join my Facebook group for great for first, get to know the product first, get the product first, all that kind of stuff. So that you can start building your VIP groups as well. So that's what I have. And like I said, at the end of the day, just have fun with it. They're a great time. And I hope this video helps. I hope this gives you some great ideas. And I want to thank you for tuning in and watching. And I hope if you have any questions, message me. I'll be glad to help. I don't know everything. I'm still learning, but it's a great tool for your business. And if you can do it, I really encourage you to do it. So thanks, you all. Thank you for tuning in. Bye-bye.